Hello everyone, this is Ari, and I want to make a quick video where I talk about this game. This is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the second remake game out of the trilogy, and I've kind of been sitting in shock over something that I think I'm not really sure if anyone will appreciate, and it has to do with this city. This is the second chapter in the game. The first chapter was a prologue, and this chapter you start in this essentially a starting town. Well, if you know the events of FF7, it's a pretty quaint, simple town that you only stay around in for like maybe 10-15 minutes. And I spent the first 20 to 30 minutes of this chapter just looking around the town and how it was restored or like remade for the sake of the remake, and I couldn't help but feel such an overwhelming level of not so much amazement but shock that I had to actually stop playing the game to kind of pull myself together and figure out, and I realized that I had to say something about it, because if you look at this town, the amount of fidelity here, the amount of environmental detail here is ridiculously high. So like, say, let's look at this grocery store, like there's everything here at the storefront is kind of uniquely placed, and it's richly decorated. And as I started walking around the streets, it's a unique environment of like old medieval era West European architecture with steampunk and slight cyberpunk additions attached on top, like those air conditioning units and pipes attached and retrofitted onto the old architecture. And there are NPCs just everywhere, just constantly everywhere, with constant pop-ups of like banter and quips, and there's music and radios playing. It's so well populated, and gives the it's not that not every NPC is someone you can talk to, but the illusion of liveliness and a living city where everyone has their own lives and motives and desires, people hawking their sales, people having small talk, discussing their shopping, people just standing around browsing their shops. And the sheer amount of detail here, just look at that detail. I'm not sure if it's coming through in my recording, to be honest. And I ended up stopping the game and actually looking at a picture of the original town on the PS1, and it's a simple 640 by 480 image, and I'll put it on the screen right now. Right, like that's the entirety of the game map on the PS1, and the fidelity of that single image, that single map with a fixed pre-rendered perspective, was raised to this. And there's just something overwhelming about this, where this little image, made probably by one or two people with maybe like a week or two of work, I'm not sure, I'm just broadly estimating here, compared to this what claims to be a remake, but is of such high fidelity that it is it is mind-blowing, right? Like it's not a 10x upgrade in fidelity. It's not a 100 times increase. It's not even 1,000. It's a 10,000-fold increase in fidelity and richness and like filling in of details and extrapolation and interpretation. Just look at look at the architecture, the props, and like every single corner is filled with little street shops. Even if it's just window dressing, they're standing there, they're browsing wares. Everything is uniquely modeled. And sure, I think there are some NPCs with a bit of repetition, but you don't notice it, right? There are street players with music, there's sweet shops. Every single shop stall is unique. And I'm guessing that I'm gonna leave this area in like an hour, and that's it, right? And the amount of work that must have gone into this is it feels like too much almost, where like this is a game made in the Unreal Engine, and the reason I had to stop and try to collect my thoughts and possibly just make a video talking about this was me realizing that this is quite possibly the best looking Unreal Engine game, not so much ever, but the best looking game that we'll probably get, because yeah, you could say a lot about like the new technologies of nanite and lumen and stuff like that, but to a certain extent there's still going to be a limit of how much work people are going to put into a project before they say enough is enough. And this recreation of this city based on 2 or 3 pieces of concept art and a pre-rendered image, this extension, like the sheer number of greeblies everywhere, this does nothing but exude an aura of passion project. A passion project for and a love for a franchise, or just a game that has been around for an entire generation. And I have trouble processing that, because like I'm not actually into Final Fantasy VII that much. No, I kind of decided to start this game on a whim. This is my first time seeing it, because I decided to skip one of my streams and just needed something to do. Decided to just play some stuff in private. But even then, you know, I did grow up on Final Fantasy VII. It just wasn't the favorite. It wasn't my particular favorite. And I couldn't help but feel that seeing this is just the first town in the game with this level of beauty, and knowing that it's something I'm going to leave in like half an hour, it almost feels incredibly excessive and wasteful. And I don't even know if I mean that in a bad way. It's I do feel like I wish that the other Final Fantasies got high fidelity remakes as well, but it almost feels like too much, you know. And maybe this video is just me like trying to process my shock in a 10-minute ramble video after putting down this thing for like a couple of hours. But I'm not sure how to feel about this, you know. I mean, this certainly says a lot about like how much fidelity the rest of the game is going to have, but it almost makes me worry about them actually overworking and putting too much detail, because this is this is totally unnecessary. Like, I would say, like I said, it's a passion project, and I just don't know what to say. If I'm like, I probably made the right call in not streaming this game, or showing a live reaction to it, because like I honestly, like I said, like I've just been like, I have not progressed the story. I had to stop the game and sit down in shock at this city, right? Like again, like compare it to that like a simple square with a little thing in the middle, and then we have this with so much rich decoration. This is the level that I expect in a movie rather than a video game, right? There's always going to be budget cuts with like low quality props or something like that in the game, but it's not here. Everything is richly decorated. Like even all of the signs, it's a little bit blurry because there are many English signs with unique text on them, and menus, and I don't know what else to say. It's like this is just me making a quick video about how shocked I am at this. I'm probably gonna take my time absorbing this, because it really does seem like too much. Too much in one game, and I'm just in the first city. And yeah, that's kind of it. I kind of just had to put that thought out there.